I don't know what to call it, man. People call them hippies. People call them extra X, Y, Z.
Yeah. Honestly, I can be a little bit of a hippie sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, like I can be sometimes. But it's just because
That's the word I didn't want to use.
I don't mind.
That's what people say exactly. So it's like, it's a different word, like with a hippie. But.
To be honest, I mean, honestly, I don't even care. Like honestly, I fully accept it. I fully love it and stuff. And that's the thing is that like if hippie means that I am just in touch with myself and I constantly seek to learn and expand myself and don't have a narrow perspective and I'm willing to have an open mind and learn and grow and stuff, then I don't even care. Like hippie, fuck it, I'm a hippie. But like how so I give you an answer that is a more accurate answer as to how I started learning more about vibes, but I'm not sure if it's okay to talk about because it's psychedelics. But
you do psychedelics, right? So that's all good over here.
Is that okay? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. So yes, to give you guys a straight up answer, what it was is that about 2 years ago, give or take, I had done like acid for the first time.
Yeah.
And I had done it. Yeah, and just keep in mind, I've told you this before as well, but like anytime I ever do something, it's really the purpose of improving myself, expanding myself in my life, and really getting everything to the fullest, right? So thing is that what got me is that for the past year beforehand, my best friend had tried to convince me, like, he's like, like honestly, I just think that you should try it, like I feel like would benefit from it, and I feel like, and I just always kind of was like, nah, you're just trying to convince me. No, doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Then I started working and
right.
and okay, so he's also on my podcast. He's also been on my channel as well. But then I started working with my manager, right?
Yeah.
And my manager at a I don't know if I'm not gonna mention the store just because I don't know if I should. But I started working at a jewelry store. And he was my manager there, and we would hang out sometimes because of the fact that like we would be on the same clock, and we would like man a kiosk together, right? And he would train me sometimes. And we got to talking, and he just started telling me about like do you smoke weed? And I was like, yeah, here and there and stuff. And then he's like, well, what about like like acid or like stuff like that? And I was like, well, and we just started talking, and we just it flowed though. Like it wasn't something like random. Like it was because we were talking about like a lot of things of self development. He was a very like he's a very self aware person, and he was very. I feel like he had this charisma with him, and I was very, and like the way he talked with customers was just amazing, right? So I was very curious of him. So we got talking, and then we talked about it, and I was like, no, I haven't, but like I'm not really sure if I ever do. And then he said the phrase to me, and this is I will never forget what he said. He said, I would not be the person that I am today if I did not do psychedelics.
Interesting.
He told me that, and immediately I was taken aback. I was like, wow, really? That's impressive.
And some people I heard it can build that type of character because what do they say? You're opening your third eye when you're doing the psychedelics. You're opening that third eye. So he had that extra type of swag about him basically, and like he just was so self-aware and sure in his confidence.
Yeah.
And this so after that happened, after the third eye got open, when did you open your third eye?
Oh wait, so he told me about that, and I was like, damn, like what, like. Maybe I should try it, right? And then keep in mind, this is all while we're on the 8-hour shift or whatever. We're just talking together, 6-hour shift. And then I'm like, do you have any? And he's like, do I have any? I mean, I actually sell. And I was like,
you met the plug at the same time.
And I was like, well, maybe we should actually get that part out, actually. Just because, like, I don't want to out him out.
Is he still there? He's still working there?
I don't know. He's not working there, but like, I also don't want to like out him out.
Okay.
So,
He wasn't the plug for the general public. He just hooked them up because they work together. He's not the plug for the general public people.
Yes, exactly. So for a friend, for somebody that I was connecting with, whatever, that I had like already like got to know for a while, he was like, well, I mean, actually, I periodically have some and stuff, and he's like, actually, in fact, I actually have one right now in my wallet. He did. I just pulled it out, and I was like, wow, this is like, I don't know, was this thought out? Like, but I was like, you know what, like, fuck it, like, can I buy it off you, right? He's like, shit, what you see about that is like, I was actually planning for me, actually. So, so he's kind of like, psych. Yeah, I'm like,
damn. That's the whole game. He told you all the good stuff, and then said, swerve.
Yeah, but afterwards I hit up my best friend because he had his connection, and then we wanted to do it, and it was an amazing experience. I had fully came into that whole experience wanting to grow, to expand myself, And with that, the first 3 hours I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I just haven't learned anything. Like what the heck? Like I feel like this would have been a waste of time if I didn't learn anything. Like it would like oh my god, it's so dumb. Like I was kind of like going through that, and not that intensely, but like as I was kind of like progressing and as I was waiting, I was like, damn, this is kind of. But eventually, you know, my friend Abraham, he tells me, he's like, you know what? Don't fight it. Just let what wants to happen, and just accept it, right? And I was like, all right. Breathe in. And then I was like, you know what? I will learn what I'm supposed to learn if I learn anything at all.
Wow.
From that moment, I just started learning so much.
Yeah.
That at that moment, I started to understand this sense of energy. I started to understand what people call, you know, social cues. That's just you understanding and being able to read the energy in the room.
Very true. Very true.
Like you could tell it's insane, and it's something sensible. And I've learned more about it like ever since then. But I learned about I need to expand my personal flame. Right?
Were you nervous ever about like just thinking about all the stories of bad trips that you know you would hear, shows would portray?
I just think that like my family doesn't like you know the psychedelics. My family just doesn't like.
Well, you had told your family, but like
no. But the thing is, like they've always like made it like a big thing, like you know, like if you ever do this, like yeah, like you know, like weed is horrible, like you know. It'd
be parents, and they'd be the ones that
like
were in the 70s.
The Latino like type of parents and stuff. So like they were kind of a little bit like you know like.
Good children.
Shit, they told me. But anyways, just joking. They were amazing parents. I love when I picture my parents, and you know they're great. But anyways, they had put a perspective on it, so I just was like, no, like you know, like psychedelics or whatever, like you know, it's horrible, whatever. And because of that, I just didn't want to do it, right? Mm-hmm. But like it just kept on coming up. They're like almost like I should try it because like it's going to help me like learn.
You can't stray away from life's going to happen. Yeah. Whether that be drugs, whether that be drink, whether that be experiences you came across. So like.
But never anything hard. Never anything hard. Fuck, like no cocaine, no meth, fuck all that shit. No, only I see no benefit and stuff like that. Like I only do something if I'm going to learn from it, if I'm going to become a better person because of it. Mm-hmm. So like you know like I definitely have my own boundaries and my own lines of what I'm willing to do, and I know myself and I know that I am definitely in those. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's my distinction for sure.
I like that. So, you know, as your third eye open, I really want to take a deep dive into this to put people, you know, get some information out there. Like, now, today.
Okay.
Roman today.
Okay.
Like, what does doing those psychedelic trips tell you? What do you experience, and each time do you grow from it? Or is it become like sort of just like a relaxing thing?
No, not a relaxing thing. Each time I always came with it with the intent of I'm gonna learn something from this, or like sometimes I have a specific thing that I want to like learn from, or I want to like expand on, or whatever. I'm like one time I took it so that way I could understand social cues better. Sometimes I did one other time I did it so that I could. So I could reflect on my strengths and my weaknesses, right? The most recent one that I did I basically did that, and I loved it because I had a great trip, and honestly it was not really expected, and I'm not even gonna go into that like story because that's a whole different story, but it was great. But let's just say that somebody gifted to me like grandma shrooms, and it was the most beautiful shroom that I've ever seen, like in the entire world. Like, I've never seen a beautiful shroom like that. When he took it out, like it's almost like the God and Son or whatever was just like, and I was like.
Yeah, because it was about to happen.
I was like, wow. I was like, I haven't done it in a while. Like, I don't know.
Do you prefer to trip at home in a certain space with certain people, or go out and you're fine going out? And
I played around with it. So
both areas.
I like to test myself to see how I will respond in different scenarios and stuff, and seeing what I can learn. So I feel like sometimes there's only so much I can learn in my home, and when I self-reflect, and it's great because sometimes I just turn off all the music. I have nothing playing. I have no TVs, no distractions whatsoever. I don't touch my phone or whatever, and I'm just in my room and I'm just thinking. That's literally sometimes what I do, and it's honestly it's boring sometimes. It really is. But like you start just reflecting and thinking about different things, and you grow. And so I find, but I also wanted to test myself and see, okay, this is what I can do in isolation. How will I interact with people?
Yeah.
And I found it like I remember one time I've met some beautiful people like when I've done this before actually. Like I met Reese.
Shout out to Reese. Reese started those snaps in the building. Shout out to Reese.
I met her, and then and Juan, and I also met shortly after. Everything just flowed. Everything just kept on flowing. But I met my buddy Daniel. Shout out to Daniel Morales. He's actually the one that is teaching me the stuff with credit repair. He's teaching me the stuff with insurance and stuff. So shout out to him. So he's a stud. He just really got himself a Tesla, and he's only like 23.
Wow.
So, like freaking great. I love his association.
That's 23.
But yeah, so I met him on that same exact day, like right back to back, whatever. Like I had talked with Reese for like an hour, 2 hours, and then they came in, and Juan knew Daniel because they used to go to high school, and then they introduced me, and then they left, and then I just continued talking to Daniel. I can sense that he was sharp. I could sense it the moment I talked with him. So what I did is I actually offered to buy him, like I was like we're at this coffee shop, buy something, like whatever you like, I would like to treat you, and I would love to just pick at your mind. And I literally kept him there until 4 in the morning, and I had work the next morning, at 7 in the morning.
7 in the morning.
Yeah, like no fucks.
That's dope.
It was great.
Damn, dog. I like that experience because you never know what's gonna happen, and you never know what time that you're gonna be off your trip and off your experience and what you're gonna learn during.
Yeah.